Well, we can go back to it. Mauricio, you should get OnlyFans.
Guys, to start the podcast, I want to say that I'm opening OnlyFans. I will be shirtless eating honey. Like a fucking bear. Yeah. It's going to be $4.99 a month.
How much a month?
$4.99. It's cheap.
I subscribe.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. I'm subscribing right now.
Subscribing right now? Dude,
I'm creating it right now.
Do you let the honey drip over you?
Whatever you want. I take requests. Take requests.
Dude, it's gonna get like all stuck in your like whatever beard hair you have.
And then if you pay me another $5, I won't shower.
So you'd be a dirty bear.
Dirty bear.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't want to say too much because it might give away what I'm into.
Honey and bears? I don't know.
She's staring at me like she's staring daggers through me right now. There's no context.
He's into Winnie the Pooh porn?
Winnie the Pooh porn, yeah, that sounds
Oh, God.
He didn't wear pants for a reason. No crop shirt.
Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, you're ruining it. Poo-poo, I'm not in it.
I mean, some people are. Again, I take requests. I take requests.
Get out on OnlyFans, Mauricio.
I take requests.
You take requests?
Yeah.
It'll pay for
this
that.
is totally making it.
Pay for
Whenever
that.
you want to count down, feel free to count down because I think this is a good enough cold open as it is right now.
Nah,
Let me go get some honey. Hold on.
You're gonna get honey?
What's gonna be your username, Mauricio?
What is it, Ryan?
Peru Manchu.
Peru Manchu.
I like it.
You got
what?
You got multiple like windows you can look at right now, like multiple monitors. Go ahead, set that shit up.
Right now?
You gonna forget?
Yeah, look, man, I'm doing.
No, I'll hit him up later.
Anything like when soccer's on, he will not be able to pay attention to shit. So
yeah, he can only do one thing at a time.
There's gonna be someone who's also gonna be into that. A big guy, shirtless, eating honey while watching soccer. Very specific, but I'm sure there's somebody.
It has to be a certain section of the population. I'm just saying.
I mean.
And that's money for you.
Right. Wouldn't that be so funny, actually?
Yes.
I'm telling you, there's a population for this.
Fucking hilarious.
There's a population for everything.
Exactly.
And the only place they can get it is on your website.
For the record, if you type into Google, honey eating porn.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. What's the rule number? Rule number 34. If you can think of it, it's a porn about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I'm going to count us down. 3, 2, 1, boom. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Mauricio. I know nothing about sports. I am here with Katie, who's
that was such a weak
already.
Countdown.
What is the,
3, 2,
you went from like
I'm only thinking about my OnlyFans now, so I don't know. I'm out of it, dude. I'm
last
out of
week
it.
you went from like a heroin dosed up fucking Howard Dean to I don't know.
Maybe
what that was.
because it's 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night when we're supposed to do this at 10:30.
Yeah, well, dude, you're not even awake at 10:30 in the morning.
Me and James had a meeting at 10, so I don't know.
I'm saying, do you have more energy at 7 p.m. than you do at 10 in the morning?
Mm-mm.
You're a morning person?
I'm not.
He's not any type of day person at all.
I'm barely a person.
He's just barely a person.
He's like a midday, like, tired pigeon is what he is. He's not an early bird. He's not a night owl. He's like a midday shitty pigeon. That's what he is.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's the point, I think.
Where did the pigeon come from?
It was the worst bird.
It worked.
It's the stupidest bird you can think
Yeah,
of.
just like the fucking.
That is a dumbass bird.
Yeah, the fucking pigeon.
Yeah, I don't think they have any purpose. Oh,
like a dodo supposed to be stupid or something?
Dodos are extinct.
Hmm?
The dodo bird is extinct.
Oh, it is?
I thought it was just a cartoon. It actually existed? Damn.
It did.
I'm not going to say anything because it's just going to illustrate how stupid I am. So
we hunted them
that
into extinction.
Dude, I thought it was a cartoon. How much more stupid would that be?
How could it be any more stupid than that was a real bird?
Yeah, I thought it was a cartoon.
Here's what I know. I don't want to be involved in the competition. So I'm going to remove myself from saying dumb shit and just like not. I'll watch you guys do it.
Well, you lose.
What was that? What was that sassy fucking head movement you just gave me? What was that?
Replay it right here. You lose. Replay it. You lose. Replay it. You lose. You lose. Replay it. You lose.
It's a pigeon head.
All right, you guys want to start or
Yeah, start, but like show some energy. Give me something. Stop thinking about your fucking honey porn bullshit, whatever.
Put it in my head.
I said I was going to stop cursing as much as I do.
No bullshit.
Why?
Mauricio's going to be a millionaire next month.
You get $1 million a month. That's so funny.
He's just gonna build his own like honey pond that he'll laze in.
I make my own honey. Yeah.
A lazy river, but instead of water, it's just honey.
All right. Introduce the fucking show. Where I'm off of this. I'm so off of the show.
No, let's keep talking about honey porn.
Look, I'm the number one guy as far as distractions on the podcast because I'd rather not talk about sports. But let's get back to sports.
Okay. Let's see. The first thing that we have is gonna be RIP. Well, should I introduce again, or are we already just fucked all this up? Are we just winging it? What are we doing?
Just go. I'm not chopping all this up. Just go.
All right. RIP Donald Reche Caldwell, who was a wide receiver for Rams, Redskins, Patriots, and Chargers. Apparently, he died in a robbery. Is that right?
That's what it looks like. I think he went back inside to he's going out to the car with I think his wife or girlfriend, and then he forgot something, so he went back in, and on his journey to and from the vehicle, he was basically jumped, robbed, and then shot. I think he died on scene, or they pronounced him dead at the hospital at least. So
wasn't that similar to what Nipsey? What happened to Nipsey?
No, Nipsey was more deep. That was personal shit.
Yeah, Nipsey was murdered, not just robbed.
Right.
No, I know. I posted the Reche Caldwell thing inside the thread, but I didn't actually read it. I just everybody was like RIP and everything, and it was just,
I mean, solid.
I don't know why I didn't read it.
Solid receiver. He was a good player. Played with Tom Brady. Played for the Skins. What else? You said the Rams too, right?
Rams and Chargers.
He was a journeyman. Career. He was a journeyman. Like when our wide receiver core was trash, like he was one of the guys that actually stepped up. I'm not gonna say he wasn't a Hall of Famer or anything. Yeah, he was like he played decently at times.
Yeah, I mean he was solid enough to have a long career at multiple teams. So
in the NFL, you got a solid career in the NFL. It means you're doing something right. But regardless, nobody deserves to go out that way. So
especially with everything going on right now, it's just
that sucks. Another thing that came out this week was the NCAA endorsements in 2021. I don't know what's changed with that.
Is this a DeSantis thing?
The Florida dude?
Ron DeSantis. Yeah, the guy.
DeSantis. Hey, look, he did something that isn't completely fucking stupid. Good for him.
It's only to cover up the fact all the COVID deaths that are coming.
Yeah,
so give the cosplayers money.
Yeah. I mean, it's a step that could be the step in the right direction that leads to a whole national change.
Well, he's a second state, right? Was it California was first?
California was first. But it's kind of like it's the trickle effect. So California did it, and everybody kind of stood on the sidelines like, hey, is anybody else gonna do this? And then DeSantis did it, and those are two really big.
Yeah, Texas is next.
And once Alabama goes, it's over.
Well, I mean, right now, Florida and California going just changes. They're going to have to follow one of these guys doing something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Texas would be nice, but I just think that just the climate right now, everybody's basically saying, fuck it. Let's just – if you got an idea for change right now in America, throw that shit out. We're listening to everything right now.
Yeah.
But I think the NCAA is going to run a lot of shit as far as I know. I don't know if it's on the list or not, but there's a list of guys that are now going to like the HBCUs and stuff. So people are thinking about things in a much more strategic way as far as
we talked about it last week with that 15-year-old kid. What was his name?
Mikey Williams.
Yeah,
Mikey.
Yeah.
But it's we're hitting that watershed moment. There's a lot of things happening. I mean, we talked about it weeks ago as far as like the you got top guys that are going to the G League to get paid right away. the NCAA is going to start to realize they got to find some sort of way to hold on to what it is they have. And if that means changing certain things, they're going to do it immediately.
I mean, the thing is, and this is what kind of irritates me about the whole thing. So because of the whole rights thing, that's why NCAA football and basketball kind of fell by the wayside. Those games make incredible amounts of money. So you let the kids make money off their likeness in those games, and then the NCAA still makes more money on top just from having those games out. Like, it's such a pissing contest. Like, it's, oh, our dick's so big and we're just going to hold it here and you can't have any money. And we're also losing revenue because we want to do that. It's ridiculous.
Well, but they had a monopoly over everything. There's no options.
Yeah.
It's you do whatever you want, and then they're in bed with the NFL. They're in bed with the NBA. They work with them to make sure the rules don't get anybody to go past it, right?
Right.
So it's, all right, your eligibility is only X amount of years past high school. If you're in football, you ain't got no choice but to go to the NCAA. What are you going to go to Canada? A lot of people work out that way, right? So it's like you were hoping things like the XFL would be that option, and now we don't know what the hell's happening with that.
Yeah.
But there's no alternative.
I did see the XFL is fielding some pretty serious offers to buy it.
Yeah, Vince McMahon's shell company.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. If Vince McMahon's like, no, I'm not, it's not my company. And like 4 tax filings later, his name is just slipped in there somewhere.
So he can redo the bankruptcy when COVID-21 comes out.
Oh, yeah. God.
This is all Vince McMahon's big plan. To buy the XFL back for cheaper was to kill millions of people.
Jeez. That's crazy.
I'm not one to believe in conspiracy theories, but that's not that.
It's not
I can draw the connections right now. Like, it's in my head. I'm like, Vince McMahon, Donald Trump, Fauci, Bill Gates is in charge of all of it, right?
Yeah, Bill Gates paid for it.
Did you guys see the Epstein documentary on Netflix?
I haven't yet.
No.
Is it good?
For what?
It's good, but it's a whole conspiracy theory. If you're into that shit, if you're into that shit, you'd love it.
So why is it good?
It's
good
enjoyable.
Stuff, good material, yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's
the way they produced it, and like they really want to convince you of it.
Of course, what? Yeah.
How much convincing do you need that he didn't kill himself in the South? I think everybody's on the same page.
Oh, I know that. It's just well produced. But
they go into who did it.
I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta watch it.
I'm not watching the fucking documentary. So you can spoil it right now. There's zero chance I'm watching that documentary.
They do and they don't.
They do and they don't.
Yes.
So you're telling me that because of the production, so you're the Michael Bay of documentary films is what you watched because it was highly produced.
No. Way better than I can explain it. Obviously.
I did watch the documentary Honeyland. I would recommend it. It is
the one about the bees.
Yeah, it's about like this very small tribe. I think they're Bangladeshi, and they have like a long-standing way of how to get the honey.
It's on my short list.
Yeah, and one other family starts doing it differently, and it fucks it up. Like they're thousands of year old.
That was Rachel's fault.
Isn't there also in Bangladesh where you can find honey that has like DMT in it or something like that? Right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's this documentary.
That's the honey you're going to use.
You stepped on my joke, you fucking asshole. I was going to talk about a documentary named Honey Man. It's like a chubby Peruvian gentleman. You just had to put that shitty joke out there and not let me.
It wasn't a shitty joke. It was an observation.
Yeah, I'm realizing this hat looks stupid backwards.
Yeah. I think it's a hat though.
I'm reversing the hat. Hang on.
Yeah, it's not the hat.
Yeah, sometimes that looks really stupid.
It wasn't a hat.
Maybe I missed something when the headphones are off. I'm just gonna let it
go. Yeah.
She's laughing at me too. What the fuck is happening here?
Also, to kind of go off the documentary thing, the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire documentary, I think released today. I haven't seen it yet, but I will report back because that was this season that got me really into baseball as a kid. Was watching them hit fucking dingers every other day.
Is it gonna be on Netflix or ESPN?
I think it's the ESPN doc. I could be wrong.
Did you guys see the Lance Armstrong doc?
I haven't seen that either. It's on my short list.
I'm not watching.
I usually watch my documentaries during the week at work. So I mean, Lance I mean, he's one of the most influential athletes.
I still don't care.
Why?
I mean, he didn't cheat any less than everybody else in the 90s. He just
I know, but
about it, and he put a lot of other people under while he was doing it. So
you have zero interest in Lance Armstrong?
No.
Wait, this isn't the guy that went to the moon. This is one testicled cyclist. No,
just one.
Okay, yeah. How do you do that? Because like usually
I think it'd be easier with that bicycle seat.
I mean, does he tape?
Just like shove it over to one side.
Tape the testicle to his leg?
I think they do.
Guys,
I'm not even joking. I think they do.
I think you would have to, right?
Guys.
Man, being uniball must suck because you probably sit on your ball all the time. Because it doesn't spread out. It's just like one. You have like a.
What are we doing?
So anybody should give him credit for taking the steroids because I mean he was already at a disadvantage with the one ball.
Yeah, he was already sitting on his one ball all the time. It's like a soap. You put a soap in a sock. It just
so it just sits right below your dick like that.
Yeah. No, like if you put two things of soap in a sock and you put it down, the soap separates. But if you just have one, it just sits there.
I can visualize it. I'm just wondering how much experience you have putting soap in socks that you
from movies when they go in.
Oh yeah, Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
Interesting.
See? All right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. What's next?
Let's talk about Russ.
This is a weird episode.
It sure is. It really is.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with the title cards for that segment. This is like random shit.
I don't know either.
Lance Armstrong's dick.
It's just documentaries, man.
Say that again.
What?
Say that again.
Lance Armstrong is his dick, or his ball.
Lance
huh? Hamstring?
Hamstring? Armstrong?
Armstrong? Isn't that it?
You kept saying hamstring.
You fucking foreigner. God damn.
Did I say hamstring?
Yeah.
Twice.
Try to give him a chance. He was
He's like, Lance hamstring?
I'm sure he's had a couple.
I mean, they're both muscles. Armstrong, hamstring. It's fine.
That's how we're going with.
Yeah.
Sure. Russell Westbrook, Black Wall Street. What is that about?
Didn't you hear about this one?
I have heard about this one.
Oh,
you want to break it down now?
Is he making a documentary? Is that what I heard?
He's producing a documentary that they're going to have on the Tulsa race riot and the Black Wall Street and all that, which is a story that a lot of people need to know. Like in the last 2 weeks of white people asking me how it is they can help, and I tell them to do history and leave me the fuck alone. Like the Black Wall Street thing and what happened to Tulsa is one of those things that are like a big moment for them. Where it's like, oh, wow, I had no idea that kind of shit happened. Once again, I'm not going to black explain a lot right now, so do your research and look into it, but it is something that...
Wasn't the anniversary of that, like, super recently? Today? Yesterday?
The race riot itself?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact date. I just know, I think it is somewhere around now.
Yeah, me too.
I might be wrong, but more importantly than the date is just what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
But what Russ is doing as far as exactly producing it, especially being that he was in Oklahoma City for so long, it's a big moment. And I will say, I was talking to James about this, is that this is, I know on the podcast, I have talked mad shit about Russell Westbrook. I'm not a fan, this, that, and the other. I'm coming around. I'm legitimately coming around. It started with the death of Kobe, where I started realizing that, like, I need to stop being so mean to these guys that I've never met. Kind of like, I didn't learn my lesson from the Richie Incognito thing. Love you, Richie. But but my favorite player was Allen Iverson. And I think there's no guy in the NBA that's as close to Allen Iverson's play style than Russ. And there was, like, revisionist history. Allen Iverson was an asshole. He played like an asshole. You couldn't win with his style. Like, you could get certain distance, but it's kind of like what Russ did. But on top of that, just what I'm feeling about Russ, him doing this, and hopefully it actually comes out, is just so impactful and so important to really get people to understand what happened in Tulsa in this climate is just, it's huge. So I give him major props if you'd actually get this together.
White people will watch it because it's got Russ Westbrook's name on it. And
that's another thing. It's just that endorsement, right?
Yep. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, I know it happened, but then again, I'm well-read and cultured.
Wow. See, I'm also working my anti-Semitism, so I'm not going to say anything to that either.
Good for you. You know,
growth.
That's great. Hey, that's growth. All we need right now. We need to grow.
Always.
I need to grow taller, man. That fucking ship sailed years ago. Anyway.
James, what was your take?
I think he might be doing it with Ava DuVernay.
That's huge. Okay.
I've heard.
I mean, I really hope that Russ Westbrook isn't individually producing this documentary.
And don't let him narrate.
Yeah.
Have you heard Russ talk?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just don't let him narrate.
They should get fuck. I'm blanking.
There's certain people that shouldn't narrate like serious topics. Like if Shannon Sharp narrated something, I would never be able to keep a straight face.
Who is the running back for the Seahawks? Marshawn. They should get Marshawn to narrate.
If you want nobody to give a fuck about your
documentary, it's a serious one.
It's so bad.
Chickens and mentals, dude. That sticks with me. I think about that phrase every single day.
I think I do the same thing. Like it hit something.
It's so good. It's so good.
Wait. I may have gotten that wrong.
Sounds about right.
I heard. Oh, shut up. I heard Ava DuVernay was doing something about Black Wall Street, but it might be two separate things. Yeah, it looks like Russ is going to do it with. It's going to be directed by Stanley Nelson.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for this to come out.
Which one? We got competition. Because black people can't just get behind each other. We got to compete and tear each other down. Fucking crabs and brown.
It is
Stanley Nelson.
So I'll say this. I'm really, really happy about this era of where athletes are doing all these things around the same time. It's like the new renaissance of athletes taking up activism, which I think is pretty cool. We're in like a moment, So
yeah, for sure. Also, to kind of piggyback off that, I didn't get to watch it last night because I fell asleep. But Spike Lee's new movie that came out on Netflix,
The Five Bloods.
The Five Bloods. I have heard very good things. So if you haven't watched it,
did you watch the first couple minutes of it?
I did. I watched the first 10 minutes of it. It's big.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
All right, the intro was nuts.
Yeah, I realized that I couldn't. It was 2.5 hours long, and I watched the first 10. I was like, well, this is a movie I got to actually sit down and pay attention to. So probably 1 a.m. wasn't the right time to watch it, but it's definitely going on after dinner tonight. So we'll report back on that as well.
Yeah, I'll check that at some point this week. I've heard mixed things though. If me completely honest.
I've heard from people whose opinions on movies I respect that it could be the most influential movie of 2020. So
I've also heard from a lot of white people that are dealing with a lot of guilt right now. That it's like the greatest movie of all time, and I don't know whether or not to trust their.
My opinions are from a white, and Indian, and a black guy. So all three of them said that they love it. So
United Colors of Benetton movie critic. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're just the people whose opinions I trust on movies. So because
every time you're trying to figure out a movie, you got to take a poll from every community. I get it.
I don't even trust one of them is a Jew, so I guess you're right.
There's a new Transformers movie. Jews, what do you think? Hey, black people, you got somebody that can tell us what to think about this one too? Pick one everybody. Just try to see how woke you are.
When you poll, if you don't get a diverse population, you're gonna get usually the same answer 4 times, and that doesn't work.
Valid point.
All right, moving on up.
So NBA is coming back on July 31st, but Kyrie Irving is now telling players to not play.
I have so much to say about this.
I know.
Carry on.
Waiting for you.
Should I go first?
Yours.
I'll let you go first, but break it down first and then go into your spiel.
Okay, so
because I got a feeling this might be the end of the podcast with what you were saying.
Oh no. So Kyrie, so they're having these group calls with all of the top NBA players, and they're all behind closed doors. So this information is coming out via third party. But supposedly Kyrie has told his fellow NBA players that he thinks people should sit out, and he doesn't really trust whatever they have in place down in Orlando. That sounds right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what he's saying is that he thinks that there's it seems racist to him how they're setting this up because most of the players are obviously African-American. Flip side is Kyrie's not playing. He's injured. He's not even on the boat. And from the new agreement, if you don't feel comfortable playing, you don't have to go. And your pay will be docked, your salary will be docked, but there will be no other, you won't get any other punishment other than you just don't get a portion of your salary. So I've been kind of taking the temperature through reading stuff of what other teams are doing and the players on those teams. I don't understand his position. I don't know what their setup is down there. They haven't really released most of I know it's going to be like a bubble and every team's going to have their own bubble and you can only bring X amount of family members or your friends or whatever to be in that bubble. But I mean, if this team's they're not playing. So does he want just the season canceled or it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I guess there's a couple other players that feel the same way, but I know LeBron does not. LeBron and the Lakers do not, who are obviously in it. I haven't heard anything from like the playing teams, like the Pels saying it that they don't want to go. So it's confusing to me why it's Kyrie. So he obviously knows more than we do about the situation down there and how it's set up, but NBA I don't think would risk the health and safety of their top players to make sure that their season gets finished. It just doesn't add up to me, and that's all.
You want to go, James?
Nope.
Cool. There are a lot of factors in this. I can understand where you're coming from. So I want to break this down in like 3 different ways. One is what you said as far as the Kyrie thing. Yes, we know Kyrie is not playing because he's hurt. We also know Kyrie's background as far as what happened in Cleveland and also what happened in Boston as far as him kind of being that guy that can blow a situation up, right? So what I was hearing was that on the phone call, he wasn't really complaining about much, just asking really mundane questions. But behind the scenes, what he's doing is talking to all these individual players and ask them a lot of questions to try to stir up some stuff in their minds or what have you. I did also see today you had Dwight. Was it Dwight Howard or was it? I forget who it was. Somebody else basically chimed in with him and said that they agree. I don't think it was Boogie Cat. I think it was Dwight Howard. All right, hang on. Let me back up. So there's that Kyrie thing. So I can understand taking everything that Kyrie's saying with a grain of salt, even though he hasn't really said a lot. That like if he's involved, there's always like a contrarian just for the sake of being contrarian type of view.
Right.
So I get that. But I'll also say this. Next component I'm going to talk about as far as the NBA. This entire situation being at this point speaks large volumes as far as the NBA itself fucking up. Because they should have done a better job of taking the temperature of the room and seeing where these players were. There should never be a reason that we're this close to them getting it restarted, and now there's like a revolt happening. Kyrie shouldn't be able to pull that off if you got leadership and everything really behind you and they really talk to the guys in the league. This shouldn't have happened. Like, right. It's one thing if you got LeBron on board, you got some of the top guys on board, but if the top guys are just making that decision for themselves and they're not reaching out and talking to the other guys, that's a crisis of leadership. I don't know exactly who to blame, whether it's the top stars or it's just the NBA itself, but the NBA should never say that they have a plan in place if they haven't really taken a poll from the players in the league to get a good idea of who's down with it and who's not. Now, if Kyrie, I actually also believe that regardless of whatever reason Kyrie will be using, there are multiple reasons he could use that I think are legitimate as far as them not playing or as far as somebody saying that they want to play. I've been very vocal here on this podcast. I don't think any sport should be coming back right now. I don't at all. And that's just Corona. You're looking at the numbers, you're seeing their increase all across the country as far as the places that opened up too soon. I think it's a terrible idea. I don't think that until we have a national strategy on testing and contact tracing, and we know that a vaccine's around the corner, I don't get the rush to go back unless you're just trying to make some cash. And I understand that aspect of it, that they're all a business, but there's got to be an element that we look at it from just a health and safety standpoint. And right now, what I'm seeing is that we have anywhere between 800 and 1,200 people dead every day, and we're treating it like it's normal, which you should never, ever, 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 ever be in a situation in which we normalize that. Now, that's one component. The other component, which I'll give the NBA a little bit of credit for, is that nobody could have seen the George Floyd situation happen. Now that it has happened, it's completely changed the landscape of sports again. I've also said on this podcast that I'm at a point where I'm looking at what's happening with the police brutality, and we just had another black man got killed in Atlanta, that shit still isn't changing the way it needs to. I'm for general strikes. I'm for fucking the system up. I'm for not lining somebody else's pockets with money until we get heard. So I look at some of these sports, I'm like, if I'm an NBA star, I look at the situation, I'm like, why the fuck would I want to be a part of making things go back to normal? When I can use this to disrupt, when I can use this to bring and draw attention to the issue. You see a lot of these guys, the Malcolm Brogdons, there's other NBA athletes that are out there on the streets or using their platform to really draw attention to this. If we just, I was talking to I did a guest spot on another podcast, and we were talking about how he said something to me that rubbed me the wrong way, as far as like, it didn't rub me the wrong way, it was true. What we usually do is all this shit happens, there's a little bit of outcry, and then we go back to normal, right? So like, even when Colin was doing the Neil thing, or when you had Eric Garner situation, Michael Brown situation, Trayvon Martin, any of them, and you had athletes kind of come out, then we just go right back to playing sports, go right back to watching movies, go right back to distracting ourselves, to a point in which we don't take the time to actually do anything with it. So I'm like, okay, if we have a point right now where we're at this moment where we can actually affect change, you can see it happening across the country, why in the world would I want to be a part of something that just go back to normal? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we have the option, we have the opportunity right now to hold people accountable. But what I also am afraid of is that the NBA decides that, all right, we're not playing because we're going to take this stand. As soon as the NFL comes back, nobody's going to give a shit about the NBA stand anymore. There needs to be something unified. We need to bring the country to a halt. No more distractions until we deal with this. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like that on the flip side of that, just to be contrarian, the NBA coming back could be an opportunity for an even further national platform, where you have the NBA coming back, which always has millions and millions of eyes, where they could use that platform to grow even further. And I get that. I get that watching basketball is kind of, some people's way to escape from what's going on outside. But if you make that escape another platform, then there's no, like, you have to be conscious of it at all times. So, I mean, I don't know what the right way to do it is. I think that what I've seen in hockey right now, you've seen 2 of the Boston Bruins tested positive. There was someone out of Pittsburgh that tested positive. And now hockey's like, well, we're going to try and move forward, but we can pull the plug on this at any moment if we feel like, I mean, and that's the right way to do it. I think I have to imagine the NBA has something in place where because if one person on a team gets it, it's likely that there's going to be more people and they're just going to shut it down. I hope that's the plan. If that's not the plan, then I'm totally for just scrapping it. And if the players, I think if all the players or most of the players came together after something like that happened and like, we're not going to play, the NBA's kind of got their hands tied. I mean, I think if LeBron says he's not going to play individually, the NBA might have their hands tied alone. So,
well, that's the crisis of faith that all the athletes are going to have to come to, right? Is like, the reason I try to break this down as I'm looking at it is 2 separate things. There's the corona issue, which, like you said, even Dr. Fauci came out and he said what he saw with the NBA's plan, he's looking at it, he's like, that's a legitimate way that you can actually bring this league back. Like, it doesn't eliminate the threat, but it's the best way that you can possibly deal with it, right?
Right.
But to me, where it really changed was in the last few weeks after the George Floyd situation, is that when you said that they could use their platform to get more people, okay, what happened when Colin Kaepernick used his platform? What happened when all these athletes after the Eric Garner situation all wore I Can't Breathe t-shirts on the court? Did anything change?
No, I think I think that in this particular case, you have, I don't think that there's, I mean, I've got to say this correctly. I don't think that there's two sides to this. There's just right and there's wrong.
Right.
I mean, if you even watch Fox News right now, Fox News is not backing the police. It seems like most of them are backing the movement.
No, absolutely not. Not on Fox News, not on OAN. Absolutely not. I watch Fox News more than any. I watch more Fox News than probably any other human being. That's the only news channel I watch just because I want to see what the other side is saying. They are not doing that. They're saying that the protesters are all part of Antifa. They're saying that the Seattle zone is a fucking third world country. They're saying that everything is bad and that we need law and order and you need the military to show up. I just read an article that Fox News ran with yesterday. The Hells Angels and the Mongols are on the road right now driving up from California to go to Seattle to take back the autonomous zone. Under no circumstances is Fox News doing anything to help anybody except rattle off the fear and get everybody freaked the fuck out about what's going on right now. Absolutely not. Do not give them any credit.
All right. Well, at least talking to the people who I know have certain racial issues, why
are you being so kind? The racist people, you know.
The people who were like Kaepernick should be standing during the national anthem. Right. They've almost unanimously flipped. I mean, and that is the kind of change that you need. You need people to stop holding the ball up here while the issue's down here. They're seeing where the issue is. I just think getting more eyes on it as opposed to just having it on the news, but having it in your sports and having it at the restaurants you eat, having it in your video games so that it's always in front of you and always the issue is always right there instead of trying to hide behind something. I think that's very important.
You have to disrupt. You have to change. The reason that everything is getting to this point is that the people are disrupting shit. The streets are not the way that they are. Across the world, things are coming to a halt with a lot of places that are doing this kind of stuff. Even right now, I like to get the pulse on where everybody's at by going online a lot. Go on Twitter, go on Instagram. All the Black Lives Matter stuff that I was seeing last week, there's a fraction of them now. I'm seeing a lot more fucking, here's my yoga pose for the day. People are already starting to go back to the way they were. We felt good about the Blackout Tuesday thing. We helped out a few black businesses. Oh, wow, look, they're making some changes with the police department. Well, we saw this thing, and they're on to the next thing. When you're playing basketball, between every free throw, LeBron's going to say, defund the police? No. Like, if you're going back to normal, the only way that you really get people is to change it. We talk about it every day if they don't play. They're not going to forget them. We're not going to forget that they're not playing. It's going to be in that. It's going to be in everybody's collective thought process permanently if they don't play. That's what protest is. It's disruption.
Right.
It's not,
but
let's just yell about it.
I can see how it could get spun that though the real reason they're not playing is not because they're protesting, but because of COVID. And I don't think that helps
Fuck
either.
the spin. I'm off of that. Anybody who wants to come and spin and not realize or have the conversation to fucking figure out what's happening, fuck off. Because you're at this point, you're like.
That's what I'm saying is if they do it, they have to do it as a group. And it can't just be like some people don't want to play and other players do want to play. It's got to be. It's got to be
enough.
It's got to be
enough.
Yeah. Enough of the
enough.
Big players. If the leaders in the NBA do it, I think it would be worth it. Honestly, I don't give a fuck if they play or not. Like in terms of the sport, I could give a shit about basketball. I just want them to be able to use the platform as to the best way possible, to the most effective way possible. Whether it be one way or the other, whether they play or don't play, I don't give a shit. And honestly, not playing is also probably significantly safer for the players and their families. So either way they decide to do it, but make sure that it is the most effective way to get your message across without hurting anybody.
And but that's my thing, is that if we're looking at it from a messaging standpoint, and we're looking at what's changing right now, it's because we're doing things differently and more overtly than we used to. I don't see a situation in which you can properly protest and be a part of the movement if you're trapped in a fucking bubble in Orlando playing the sport that everybody's watching, and then the money's already starting to exchange hands and everything's going back. That's right. The thing, is that you got to take the moment to stop. I'm of the idea that if I'm one of those athletes, I'm using this opportunity to say, if there's any particular point in the history of time where I'm justified doing this is now. Because I can feel better about not putting myself at risk when it comes to Corona and actually stand for something. So it's like, I don't want them to use Corona as an excuse. I want them to say, look, we're not doing this shit until this stuff changes. Just so happens it kind of helps us out. The Corona's there and we don't want to deal with that. But right now we're saying we're not going to fucking participate. I get what all the leagues are doing. What the NFL's doing as far as Roger Goodell releasing a statement. You got Baker Mayfield saying that he's going to take a knee. You got all these things happening across the sports landscape. All great. But all it is more of what we've already done. And I'm sorry, another black man was just fucking murdered in Atlanta. Shot 3 times in his back. Yeah, this shit ain't over. It's not fucking over. Then you got all the videos that are coming out of the shit that already happened. The Salt Lake City shooting. All of this stuff is still happening. They're still beating protesters' fucking heads in. And I don't know about what you guys saw. I saw the videos of the South Philly last night of all them fucking racist-ass Italian fucks in Philly fucking standing trying to protect the Christopher Columbus statue with guns and baseball bats and all kinds of other shit. Fuck them wanting to watch a Sixers game. No, we're not your entertainment. We're not your fucking dog and pony show. We're not going to run and entertain your asses while we're fucking getting murdered in the street. Fuck that.
People still think Christopher Columbus discovered America?
Did you ever watch the Sopranos episode about the Christopher Columbus parade? It's nonsensical. The Italians want to hold on to something, and they decide that Christopher Columbus is the one they want to fucking do. His Chef Boyardee is not fucking enough for him, so all right, whatever. You're supposed to laugh at that. Don't make it seem like I'm just being racist.
It's good. It's good. It's good. I enjoyed it. I got it. Christopher Columbus, really. That's what they're holding on to.
They're still fighting for that. There's still questions about whether or not to change the basis from Confederate soldiers' names. We are not anywhere near where we need to be. We're still on the first step of trying to acknowledge we have a problem. And you have half the fucking country that's still not acknowledging that there's a problem.
I think the problem is that the Italians in South Philly were never taught to read, so they could never actually read the history behind Christopher Columbus. It's really sad.
I'm noticing all the Philadelphia shit he's wearing right now. It's kind of making me laugh.
Yeah, but he's an import from Peru, so he doesn't really. He couldn't even speak English when he got there. So
really,
valid point.
Really?
Oh yeah, his English has improved drastically even from when I met him, which was a decade ago.
That's awesome, man.
But am I crazy for saying or for thinking that we should not under any circumstances be going back to normal? Fuck the Corona thing. Let's just talk about it from the George Floyd situation.
I completely agree, but my point is solely that whether it be to play or not to play, there needs to be some cost benefit analysis in terms of how can we best continue to get our message across. And I don't know which way that is, and I haven't honestly put that much thought into it, but I will. I think if they determine that the best way is to play and continue to push out their message while playing, and it's worth the risk, then they should do it. If they determine that sitting out and not risking your health is the best way to get their message across, they should do it. And that is my only point. Whichever way makes it so that their message gets across to more people for the longest possible amount of time. So that people continue to be uncomfortable. It's continually in front of your face until the change comes. And I don't know which way is better to do that.
I want to answer your question. I would just say that I think based on past experience and history, we've already shown which is the more effective way.
Shut it down.
All right.
We've tried it another way. It didn't work.
Right. Okay.
So you already said that people were already going back, like showing their yoga pose and shit, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's with nobody, like, let's say, for example, in the NBA or NFL or any major sport is playing right now.
There's no distractions.
Right. So what I'm saying
yoga is all she has.
Alvin Kamara was at a NASCAR race. That's how bored we are. Okay.
Yeah. If you have all the NBA players protesting in some sort of fashion before each game, during the game, like after the game, before the game, whatever, off days.
During the game.
Yeah, like in the playoffs, and that's the only thing that people are watching, right? It is kind of disrupting the quote unquote safe haven that everybody wants. So I don't know if that's been done before.
Fair. Okay. All right.
Like,
I can see
especially
like
when it's the only thing. It's like, because, you know, like people, when Cap was kneeling, people are like, oh, I won't watch football. It's like, yeah, I'll just go turn on this. Like, I'll watch football.
There's no sport.
Basketball.
There's no sport you can turn on where it's not in your face right now.
Right.
Every soccer game, NASCAR, fucking NASCAR has a Black Lives Matter car.
That's huge. That's a moment.
Huge.
You're right.
Huge. Like, the banning of Confederate flags isn't going to stop the people in the parking lot from having them. But there are going to be people in the parking lot now tearing those motherfuckers down.
Well, I know more black people. I've been a NASCAR fan, even with the Confederate flag.
I know you've been a NASCAR fan since I've met you.
Yeah, but there's look, I guess I've prefaced this a lot in saying that please expect my cynicism.
That's fine, and that's exactly if you aren't cynical right now. You're not looking at the situation correctly if you don't have a sprinkling of cynicism.
I have a lot. There's not a sprinkle. It's full of it. It's a glass chuck full of cynicism. That's all I drink.
I'll say that we've seen the most change, quote unquote, change.
Absolutely.
In a long ass time.
Yeah, but you can't stop there, and that's his fear. That's everybody's fear.
We're not saying that it's over.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, like, as people are acting like these videos are going to stop coming.
No.
They're going to keep coming. And people are going to continue to be pissed, me included.
But see, that's my problem.
It's going to keep going over.
I can't have another video.
You got to filter out what you watch. Video. I know. I can't watch them anymore either.
But I'm also watching what people on Twitter are saying. Like, when you have the dudes that are like there are people, black, white, whatever, that are posting when you see one of the athletes say something, or when the Russell Westbrook story comes out, and they're like, basketball's supposed to be a safe place. Basketball's supposed to be the place we all kind of come together. Basketball's supposed to be this. But I'm looking at where I'm seeing a lot of these fans are coming from with this. Like,
they're going to continue to say it until.
Remember when colleges built safe spaces for students?
No.
They did that all across the country. When people's feelings were hurt, they had safe spaces. There are no safe spaces right now. Your feelings will be hurt because that's what needs to happen to make change. Basketball is not your safe space anymore. NASCAR is not your safe space anymore.
Sports aren't the safe.
Fucking Safeway is not your safe space anymore. If someone wants to protest outside Safeway, fuck them.
Life wasn't a safe.
They can do whatever they want.
So fuck them.
Yeah. I guess I want to see more happen as far as the
and I agree.
Into the dollars and cents is also where I'm looking at. But
my fear was and is that people are going to find safe spaces and they just shouldn't exist. So if people are not even watching the news anymore, which for people who just watch the news every day, they're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. No. You should be watching it. You should continue to be uncomfortable until you're not uncomfortable anymore, until you get to a place, and that's where we need to be. When we can turn on the television and no longer be uncomfortable, it means that significant changes happened. When we're not seeing these things anymore, and that's the point. Or they just
mean that they don't care anymore.
No, and that's the problem. It needs to be in our face until it goes away, until these news stories are no longer occurring. Because if you get on Twitter, and they're still happening, then we haven't gotten to a resolution.
I mean, something needs to happen.
So,
yeah, no, I agree.
We got to get a next topic.
It's important. It's important.
I understand what you're saying. I would just say that, along the lines of what you're saying, I want people to be vastly uncomfortable. And I think that giving them anything that they like right now, including basketball, any sports, does one less thing to make you uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I'm not even talking about the people that are saying, screw the protests or anything. I'm saying the people that even consider themselves allies. I want you all uncomfortable. I want everyone uncomfortable to change shit.
Right.
And I think that no basketball is more uncomfortable than seeing some guys protest.
Yeah. Well, just as a last point, these people have already not had basketball for the last
they're going fucking crazy.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what the right way is, but I'm sure that I'm hoping that the leaders of the NBA will figure it out. Maybe Kyrie's got a point. Maybe he's right.
Well,
Maybe
it sounds like he's trying to.
At the right
it sounds
time.
like he's trying to stir everything up with the players under the top 20,
which is
like
always
by
good.
saying stuff
Stir it
like,
up.
Yeah,
he's
stir it
like,
up.
yeah, like the
If
top
anybody
20
can
players
stir it
only
up,
want
it's
to
him.
get money anyway, and I know I'm one of them, but still,
Yeah.
like that sounds like some of the combos he's been having.
I mean, and on the flip side, I'm sure that if they all come together, the lower guys on the totem pole, they won't have to worry about those missed salary games because you get the LeBron James and the KDs and the Kyries saying, "Hey, we'll cover you guys. We'll get through this, and it won't be a monetary hit on you. Really won't be a monetary hit on them for sure. For $1 billion endorsement deals. I think they'll all be fine if that's the way they want to go."
All right, what's next, Matt?
What about Dalvin Cook? Holdout.
Oh.
Losing contract.
It's
So
smart.
running back from the Vikings.
He wants McCaffrey money, and he deserves it.
No, he said. Well, I mean, he said 13.
He wants a reasonable contract, and he doesn't want it to be that long.
Apparently, he's fine with 13. But the reason why I say it's smart is just because looking at the people that will hit free agency next year with him, including Kamara, it's going to be a situation. There's like 15 to 16 like good backs. They're going to be free agents next year. And it could be the same type of situation that we had with quarterbacks this year. As you can tell, like Cam Newton's still not on the team, and he was an MVP candidate. He won the MVP like 3 years ago.
Yes, that pisses me off to no end.
Yeah. So Dalvin Cook is saying like, "Hey, Minnesota, I want to be here. He is the offense." Like that's why Stephon Diggs is in Buffalo.
Amazing.
They have a great quarterback.
Kirk Cousins is the shit.
But if you're paying Kirk Cousins that ridiculous amount,
Why is he with the Skins anymore?
Huh?
He's not the shit.
He's the
You
shit.
know that?
We
You know
paid
that?
him. We paid him a lot of money.
You paid Albert Haynes with a lot of money.
facts.
I'm done.
He's not great.
Fuck you.
I paid Jamarcus a lot of money. He's not great
That was
either.
below the belt. That's worse than Jamarcus hit. Fuck you.
It's not worse than Jamarcus.
No,
It's not worse than
Albert
Jamarcus.
Hainsworth,
You know
really?
it. You know it.
God damn it.
You won games with Albert. We lost everything with Jamarcus. It wasn't like Calvin Johnson #2 that year, the next pick.
Albert Hainsworth took a nap on the field.
Jamarcus did too,
Marcus
but he
Russell was drinking with Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz before a game.
That seems like fun. He took a nap in the middle of a pass rush and then looked around like there weren't cameras there staring at him. It was the worst moment maybe ever of any athlete I've ever seen.
We thought about moving Jamarcus Russell to offensive lineman.
He was fat enough. It made sense.
Are we really trying to have this debate right now? Who was worse between Jamarcus and Albert?
Whoa, as far as talent, no. Here's the point. Albert had talent.
Jamarcus apparently did too.
He didn't. No, he didn't. Jamarcus had no talent.
Everybody rated him as a top QB in that year.
And they were wrong.
They did the same thing
we
for
were
Ryan
all
Leaf.
wrong. Everybody was wrong.
Albert had
Johnny
talent.
Manziel.
Huh?
Albert Hainsworth was a Pro Bowler. Then he stomped on people's heads. We paid him a lot of money to do the same thing, and he took a fucking nap on the field.
Was it all guaranteed?
Yes! $100 million.
Yes.
Including a nap. Nap guaranteed.
It's not even close.
No, it is close. It is close. Okay, wait. The worst contract. Okay. Didn't we pay Jamarcus like 125?
You're paying Jamarcus off of potential in what it is that everybody said. Albert Hainsworth got his money and said, "Fuck off! I'm gonna be a lazy fat piece of shit."
So did Jamarcus.
They
might be the same weight, bro. They could be the same weight. Might be the same weight. Think about that.
I had 2 players simultaneously on 2 separate teams that year. I had Albert Hainsworth, and I was reminded, as I am every year for the next 15 years, that the Mets are still playing Bobby Bonilla every fucking summer. So, hey, I pick them. I know how to pick them. All right.
Well, yeah. They need to pay Dalvin Cook, like for real.
I mean, I think somebody will.
Well, Dalvin Cook sees the writing on the wall. Stephon Diggs isn't there anymore. They're going to need somebody to take some of those receptions. Dalvin Cook's going to have to be that guy. So I think Dalvin understands that he's going to be a huge and even bigger part of the offense than he was
Yeah.
Because you can't just replace Stephon Diggs like that.
And
the amount of catches that him and Thielen were having, like it's that amount of production is not easy to do. And they're going to run Dalvin into the ground. So get your money.
Because Kirk doesn't. We know his deep ball is very questionable.
Yeah.
If he misses one, he's not throwing a deep ball for the rest of the fucking game. So.
And we already know Dalvin has some injury history.
You can see why the Vikings wouldn't pay him.
Yeah, but he's just trying to protect his chickens. That's it.
Yeah, but
I don't blame him. Don't play if you're not going to get paid.
Like, yeah, because imagine the Vikings this year without Dalvin Cooks.
Trash.
Redskins. That's what they look like.
Redskins was a good receiver. Yeah.
Redskins had a good receiver this year.
Yeah, Scary Terry, right? Scary Terry. Yeah, he's nice.
He is nice. Got them hands.
Yeah. And great footwork too. Great footwork.
Speaking of hands,
go on.
Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua coming up next year, bro. 2 fights.
Yeah. I'm all about that.
Summer next year.
Those have been some of the most, except for the first one, where I guess they got it right. I don't know, but just watching them, just as a visual perspective.
Tyson Fury is just much fun to fucking watch.
It's like
wait. No, you're thinking about the wrong thing.
No.
Fury fought Wilder. He's fighting Joshua now.
I know. I'm saying watching him fight.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm talking to Ryan.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is his first 2 belt fights. Just watching them, Tyson Fury, was so entertaining, and to watch him go up against who I think is the best boxer in the world. I don't know if that's a fact after watching Tyson Fury fight. Like Tyson doesn't look like
he's the best boxer in the world.
I think it's Tyson Fury.
Okay, but who'd you think of before?
Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua is not the best fighter.
He still holds 2 belts.
He got worked by Ruiz.
Once.
I think he's
like
going to go work by Fury.
He didn't prepare
even train.
He didn't prepare for that fight.
Joshua's not going to beat Wilder if they fight, in my opinion.
Really?
I don't think that happened at all. It's Fury and it's Wilder.
Yeah.
Those are the top 2 guys. That's it.
I think Anthony Joshua is built for it. I think he's going to get worked, but I can't wait to watch it. I just want Tyson to win.
We're going to watch it.
I just want Tyson to win everything. I never want him to lose again. Do you see the pictures of Tyson when he was fat?
I need Tyson to lose to Wilder the next time they fight, and it has to be in February, just for retribution. And I need those extra days of Black History Month back because he took some from us.
My new platform for the African American community is we have Black History Year, like a leap year. Every 2 years, it's just Black Year.
Okay, I'm down.
Fuck it, it's every day.
We shut down all white companies and only support Black businesses for the year. Just see how it happens. We gave y'all 400 years. It's just fair.
Or just white people work for free for the entire year.
I love that.
Give us our land back.
And we trade houses.
No. I want the land.
You want a wife swap? Fucking
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Put yourself in a Black person's shoes for the day.
That I would.
I know you would. Because you'd say the N-word all fucking day. That's all you want it for. It's literally the only thing you want. Tell me I'm wrong, you fucking asshole. I can rap out loud to all my favorite songs with the windows down. You fucking piece of shit.
Take that Honda shit out. Roll down the windows.
Like a Honda S2000 just
Nothing but DMX and G Unit all day.
He's gonna put 22 chromes on his Honda.
All right, so you want too far. That's just racist. Why do you think that he's?
Yeah, we don't do that shit anymore.
I'm gonna get a Cutlass with 100 spokes on it, ride around like Paul Wall.
Cutlass would be nice.
They ain't do that in Houston no more, man. Get out there.
Wait, Paul Wall just posted his new dunk with the.
When's the last time Paul Wall was relevant?
He was at a rally like last weekend.
Good for him. Still dropping his song from 20 years ago, trying to get people to remember. You remember this car from the video?
I mean, he's still cool with
I think he does. Doesn't he do jewelry now too?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thrills.
I'm not keeping up to date with Paul Wall.
I think he made his point.
What's he up to? I haven't heard from Chamillionaire in a minute. What's he up to?
Chamillionaire, come on now. You know what shit he's doing with tech.
Millionaire is the man.
Oh fuck, yeah, about that.
Yeah, like he's doing a lot of shit.
Give me some other washed fucking rapper. Joe Budden. Check.
Yeah, what is he up to nowadays?
He's a washed rapper. He's a completely washed rapper. He's not washed as a person. Actually, I think he's going back in the studio with Royce the 5'9" soon.
Royce is
and the whole Slaughterhouse. They're going to Detroit.
Yeah, he's doing what we call pull a Paul Wall, try to become relevant again.
Dude, Slaughterhouse as a group, dirty as fuck.
They're nice.
Shit.
Yeah,
like Joel Ortiz and
I still think
Crooked I just put out a album.
I always say, like, I know I'm in the minority on this. I think Joel was the best spitter in Slaughterhouse. I know a lot of people would say probably Royce, but I always thought Joel was the best, actually.
Royce was just a bigger name at the time for
Royce
people.
Royce is classic.
Yeah, I mean, he was Grand Theft Auto.
His last album was great.
He was in Grand Theft Auto. So if anybody who played Grand Theft Auto free, listened to his song 1,000 times and fucking loved it. And then when they saw him in Slaughterhouse, they just transferred that love to Royce. Royce has been legitimate forever.
All the way to rule the world.
Yeah, that makes me want to go play fire up the old PlayStation 3.
No,
damn.
Like the new GTA came out, right?
Yeah, GTA 5. You know they
released the one that's 6 years old.
Yeah, they're just re-releasing the same GTA for different platforms. It's so irritating.
With so many add-ons.
I had no idea.
Every week they have anything to do with
it's
that
just
game.
GTA Online. It is no add-ons to the storyline. It's just GTA
for the online.
I've never played, so I was thinking about getting it.
Did you guys see anybody watch a PS5 unveiling?
I love it.
All they had was Zion pouring sweat in the game. Like,
I'm not getting that one.
Got a trailer. I'm gonna get it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm a PlayStation guy for life.
I know, but it's gonna, like, my gaming career is over after this last couple weekends of FIFA.
You're still playing, dude?
Why?
Yeah, I played Weekend League. Like,
why are you playing Warzone stuff?
Yeah, I played a little bit too when my boys are online, but other than that,
I let my PlayStation Network account lapse. That's how little I'm playing right now.
Why are you quitting? Why are you quitting the gaming?
FIFA sucks.
Well, one, I'm gonna get married, so I can't be spending as much time as I do.
My buddy
Josh, play a lot of FIFA.
My boss Josh plays and streams almost every day, and he's married with 3 children. You put them to bed. You put them to bed, and you go downstairs. You're like, "Fuck them badass kids," and you get on the shit. And
we all know James is going to be either the guy. We know James is going to be the guy who locks himself in a closet and plays video games like he does podcasting right now. Like, it's not that big a stretch. Just put your gaming system in your closet.
I can't do it. I rather like either I'm going to play FIFA. I'm going to watch Barcelona and the Raiders and the Mavericks and the Giants.
Dude, your closet can have multiple purposes. It's more than just a place you keep your jerk-off rags.
Nice.
Why do people say that shit? I don't have anything.
Because they look like jerk-off rags.
All right, well,
like you have towels to wipe up jerk.
Those are scarves. Like, you wear a scarf. You look.
Look. I'm all about being inclusive. There are no black males in America with that many scarves, and it's not an issue.
I guarantee you, Common has multiple scarves.
Dude,
Common
and the Weeknd.
And the Weeknd has nothing but scarves.
You think you're styling like them?
No, I'm not.
Exactly.
It's not for style, though. Yeah,
it's sports teams.
It's not for
style. They look like jerk-off rags.
Hey.
You're telling me under no circumstances whatsoever. You're telling me under no circumstance whatsoever you've never cleaned up any sort of jizz with anyone else? Never?
No. Fuck no.
Like reaching for something?
No.
When you're jerking off in the closet to honey porn, you don't.
Hey, I have a new page if you're
Is that what you do? Is that what you do?
Huh?
Is that what you do?
Well, whoever's into it, it's only $5 a month. What you guys make out of McGregor retaring? Do you actually think he's retiring, or he's just negotiating a new?
I don't think he's retiring.
Yeah,
I think he's frustrated again.
Yeah. It's the same thing that happened with Henry Cejudo a couple of weeks ago, where he came out saying, "Well, Joe, I'm going to retire because I think I've done it all." He's only 32 years old. He's wiped clean 2 divisions, and literally, I think 2 or 3 days after, his trainer comes out saying he's not retiring. He just wants a new contract. Like his fucking trainer told him.
I mean, it's smart. You retire so that you can get a new deal.
Right.
He made the right move. And honestly, if he did retire right now for health or whatever else, I mean, fighters are fighters, so they usually want to get back out there. But if he just wants to retire with his hundreds of millions of dollars, fine. Good for him.
He's making a lot of money from his fucking whiskey.
And he does other ads for shit. Like he's never going to be short on money.
Right.
He's never going away.
The way that I see it is that he's not the champion anymore. But it's like if Amanda Nunes wanted to retire, it'll be dumb because she's dominated 2 divisions. There's no reason for her to retire. She's just gonna keep on holding. Yeah, she's just gonna keep on holding and defending her titles and make more and more money because everybody's gonna want to fight her. And she's divisions.
She's got a bunch of ad deals right now too.
Yeah, she's with
Modelo.
Yeah. Modelo's like one of the biggest sponsors for the UFC.
Yeah, UFC and also boxing. They do.
I like Dos Equis better.
I'm a fan of Modelo.
Yeah.
As long as we can all agree, Corona sucks ass.
It does.
Yeah.
Although a cold Corona on a hot beach.
It's the only beer that gives me a headache the next day.
It's skunked. It's a clear glass. It's already skunked.
Yeah. If you have to put a lime in
beer, it's done. It's a skunk. You understand the reason they put limes in Corona wasn't for taste, it was to keep flies away? Literally.
Oh my God. Jesus.
That's why they put limes in Corona?
Yeah.
I'll take a Tecate then.
Thank you. Tecate with the energy drink looking can. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, his sister's fiance has a brewery. So
really?
Maybe I can convince her to bring some when she comes over.
Is it Avion?
No. Brewery.
I know. It was a shitty joke.
Owned by
I was making an entourage joke. Can we go to something else before I embarrass myself more?
What about the MLB negotiation? What is going on with that, Ryan?
I want to hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so hard
awkward silence
to say goodbye to the shitty match.
So,
and we can't. No, sorry.
The MLB submitted yet another offer to the Players Association that was, again, so horrendous in terms of games played and amount of money paid to the players that the MLB Players Association said, fuck it. This is ridiculous. We're just going to go with the plan from March. Let's just get the fuck back out there. Andrew McCutchen, his father-son thing that he did was probably the best explanation, where he told his son, hey, if you tinkle in the toilet, I'll give you some juice. And then after his son tinkled in the toilet, he's like, and here's your water. And then he just kept giving him water in different glasses, not changing the fucking the fact that it's water. That they're missing the mark so hard right now on the fact that these players just want to play. Why aren't you giving them what they deserve, what you originally signed up for? So they'll end up playing, but man, I wouldn't be surprised if some people go out there and give it about 20%. It's gonna be a shit season, but I'll watch it.
Maybe it'll finally kill baseball. One can hope.
I would be devastated.
I love my Nats. I like on the games and everything. It's the owners being greedy like they are at every sort of situation ever. Like, that's just what they do. They can't look and say that if we get this right and pay these guys, we might take a hit off the bat, but long term, we're going to make this all up multiple times over.
All that money back.
Easily.
Fuck. They just signed a $1 billion TV deal.
Just look at how exponentially all of these teams have grown in revenue over the last few years. It's like
the Yankees have a payroll of like $1 billion. You don't do that unless you're making a shit ton of money. Fuck.
Dog, once the owners get involved in everything is when I don't trust it. It's the reason I don't trust the NBA thing. It's the reason I don't trust the NFL thing. It's the reason I don't trust any of them. Owners do that shit nonstop. They're looking for the short. They're looking however it is, we're going to line our pockets. They hate the idea. Loss is not something that they can comprehend. It's just not. They look at that bottom line and they're like, we're not taking no short-term hit. Now, look, I know I've kind of beaten this drum that, like, there's that element of when things could get back to normal. Like, are you ever going to be comfortable going to the ballpark or what have you again? Maybe there is some of that, but the amount of games that they have, even if you don't sell out, which most of these teams don't sell out every night, you're still going to make the money back.
Yeah. Like the Marlins or the Rays.
But that's the thing is, like, you can socially distance at ballparks. Like, if they did half the amount of attendance and said, hey, you still make a shit ton of money.
Well, it's like the big
There's so
teams,
many
though.
games.
The big teams, though, will take a pretty big hit.
Baseball has it. There's 162 games.
Mm-hmm.
162. No, what? Like, you're gonna make it back? Why are you worried about it?
You're selling $1 billion of hot dogs every week. Like, shut the fuck up.
Really? It's so dumb.
I mean, we'll buy your $14 hot dog if you just fucking pay the players what they deserve.
So I'm craving a ballpark hot dog. Like, dude, just to go. I would love to go to a ballpark and just
cold and shitty with like, and it's got like mustard all weird on it.
Mustard all weird. Then I want to go get some chicken tenders and a baseball cap.
Just spend like $50.
Yeah, I don't care.
Dude, I love going to Camden Yards. This is what baseball's about. It's like you just go eat shit and
Camden Yards is so nice, though. Fucking love that.
That's amazing.
Dude, I would go watch in like a AA stadium right now where there's only 8 people. I will go. Let me go. Fuck. All right. Fuck.
Last thing that we'll talk about, it's going to be soccer mostly coming back. The EPL picks back up this Wednesday, right?
Woo! And so far, the German league we haven't heard of anything getting out of the box. They've been doing all the testing and tracing and making sure players are where they're at. Assuming they continue to do that, it looks like this is working for these leagues.
Yep.
If something goes sideways, something goes sideways. But for right now, it looks like it's working.
Yeah, we'll see what happens opening day, which is Aston Villa and Sheffield United, and then the beloved Arsenal versus Man City.
Hey, I get to watch one of my teams lose for the first time in 6 months. Let's fucking get it. I get to be disappointed as shit for the rest of the week.
The last game in the Premier League was back in March, so it's been 3 months without Premier League, which is crazy. Which takes me to my next question. I know Kadeen probably won't have any opinion on this, but
don't. What are you doing? Give me an opportunity. Shit.
Okay, I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna have no idea what's gonna happen. But
let's
okay,
go.
Are we gonna finish the Champions League?
No.
You don't think we are?
No.
There's no possible. There's no possible way.
There's no possible way to do it.
It's just
too
many teams flying into too many different countries.
It's way too many teams flying into too many different countries.
Yeah.
Nailed it. My only thing with that
I think they will, just because it's so much money.
Right. There's also the UEFA coefficient that needs to be met in order for people to continue playing in the Champions League. So basically, if a German team doesn't win, I think it's in 5 years, so doesn't make it to a final, they lose spots in the UCL. So without finishing this one, there will be some teams, not the bigger ones, but the smaller ones, that will be not benefited from that. And I mean, it'll be nice if it finished it. As a fan, I wanted to finish it, but I also see it from the team's point of view. They won that.
I haven't seen them come up with a basic plan yet.
I haven't heard a thing.
We are running out of time.
I haven't heard a thing.
They need to finish
do the same thing that the NBA is doing.
But how can you when you're also playing domestic games?
Well, the leagues are almost over. There's only 3 years left in the Bundesliga, and I think, 10 or 9 in the Liga?
Yeah, 10 now.
Yeah.
So you do it, in August?
There's no Euros to worry about.
Like, in La Liga, they're playing games every day.
Oh, trying to rush it?
Pretty nuts.
Huh. I mean, you can do it once all leagues.
But I haven't heard a plan, so if they're not even trying to formulate a plan now, how you couldn't even implement it in 2 months.
They're meeting again. Like, they met last week on this, and then they're meeting again at the end of the month.
Yeah, but
So-
they need to be meeting every day starting now to try and come up with a
Starting 2
plan.
months ago.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
What
they're
the
probably
fuck?
meeting individually, but I'm saying they're going to have the big meeting to figure out what the hell they're doing at the end of the month.
Yeah. And
It
that
seems
then
far-fetched to me.
I'm sure
but
they're also going to talk about the Europa League.
But it's too much money.
I
Like,
hear you,
Should not be
but
had.
we've seen from every single league so far that they care the most about the money. So they'll do whatever the fuck they need to do, especially when you consider how much money goes into the Champions League.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I hope we finish it. But then is that going to push back next year?
yeah, they have
You know
a
what I mean?
plan. They have a
I
plan.
think they're just shorten the condensed season next year. I think they'll do that.
That will make the most sense. Also, the Euros, are we going to play that next year? I mean, I don't
think
know
so.
what the fuck's going to happen. It's just so many tournaments that
Also, we have
want to
that
see.
whole Olympics thing, so
Oh, fuck, yeah.
I think that one's gonna be canceled.
The
Olympics
Olympics?
I
When are they
think so.
supposed to be this year or next year?
this
I
year.
think
they
it's-
already
I think it's
canceled.
next year. I
Yeah,
thought they
but-
postponed it.
postponed. They already
Yeah, they
Yeah.
postponed it to next year.
Yeah. But I think it just might be gone. But who knows?
All right.
There was one thing that I think we missed, and I know Kadeen had a lot to say about it.
What?
Did we talk about NASCAR and the Confederate flag already?
Yeah,
We
so
did.
We touched on it.
Kind of breezed through it, but then there was
You
that
said
guy
you
that
wanted
was
to say something about
No, I mean,
Ray
it's enough.
Cicerelli.
Ciccarelli.
Who fucking knows his name?
Yeah, who cares?
That was my
He's
first.
not-
That was my
he's
first
not even
That
question.
shit
worth-
was funny.
he's
You
not
gotta
even
admit
worth
that shit was
talking
funny.
about.
That was my
Homeboy
first
was
question.
like, "Yeah,
James,
I'm leaving.
tell
I'm
me
never
about it.
racing again." And I was like, "Bro, you never won."
Yeah,
Ever.
he had as many
Same
wins.
success record as the Confederacy.
It's the Confederacy 0.
Ouch! What a burn. Yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind when James was telling me about this guy. I'm like, "Is he any good?" It's like he's never won.
He's a piece of shit.
All right.
He's
I'm
over
retired.
25.
Has he not won? He's a piece of shit. And let me make this clear. If you are defending the right to fly the Confederate flag, you are a piece of shit. If you're saying you're defending the heritage of your ancestors, whatever the fuck, right? How about you look at this? How long was the Civil War?
4 years.
4 years. My people were in bondage for 400. Kiss my ass.
Yeah,
It's all about heritage.
the Confederacy
Fuck
lasted 1/100th the amount of time as slavery in America.
You
So,
kiss
fuck off.
my collective ass. Like, you are just an
Collective ass.
Whole
Yeah,
ass.
there's a lot of it, okay?
Collect
like,
it all, put it in a
Collect
jar.
all of it,
Kiss it.
get some chapstick, carve out the part in your calendar. All right, you need it all the way out. Like Google calendars, they cross-reference on a lot of different devices. You can use that.
Can we do it for my OnlyFans?
No, this
Oh,
will be more of
come
a personal
on.
sort of thing, a one-on-one.
There's some money to be made out of that. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't mind seeing racist white people kiss my ass. I'm just saying. Like literally kiss my ass.
I'd pay for it.
It's ridiculous that we're still having a debate. If you're talking about anything from heritage, you're a fucking idiot. If you are upset that NASCAR did X, Y, and you're a fucking idiot. Fuck you. You're just stupid. I don't want anyone to hear you talk. That NASCAR driver, whatever, go fucking drive your truck into a tree. Who gives a fuck? Fuck you.
Well, he'll drive his truck into a tree, but he'll do it in 28th place.
I like that one. I usually don't like your jokes. I like that one. That was fun.
Final thoughts, Kadeen.
I go first.
Oh, if you don't want to, you don't go
I
first.
want to go first. I don't like going first.
Okay, final thoughts, Ryan.
Arsenal's back on Wednesday. Fuck the entirety of the MLB as an association, players association. I'm behind you. Get back out there, and we'll stick it to them somewhere in the future, hopefully. Yeah, we got some documentaries to watch. We got the new Spike Lee joint that's on Netflix. Check it out. Leave us some comments. Let us know if there's any other documentaries and shit that are out. Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa doc is out too. So
Birth of a Nation.
excited to watch it. All that. Watch Birth of a Nation.
J-Mo.
All right, first one, University of Texas football team. Kudos. Maryland's been beating y'all ass for a long time, but y'all are winning this one. They are protesting to eliminate a lot of the racist shit at University of Texas, and I'm with it. Same thing with Clemson football team doing the same thing. And that brings me to another point that, like I said before, we're seeing a lot of younger athletes and athletes that were given like star power go along with the movement, and that's making everything else change. Like with the NFL, as soon as they see Pat Mahomes in that video, they like the next day Goodell put out the video. If Mahomes wasn't in there, that shit wouldn't have happened. Just because he's the face. And then you got the kid from Clemson, I think it's Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Sunshine.
He organized a rally. And then you got Dabo Sweeney in there. And then you got Deshaun Watson and forgot the receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, talking about like all the shit that they've noticed. And like D-Hop saying that's why he doesn't say that he's from Clemson when he's on like Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. It's because all the racial shit that they have there. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, like I said before, we're definitely in a moment where a lot of shit is changing because of athletes. And we'll look at this 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now and come back to this time and say, like, what were you doing when this was happening? So
you can be on the right or wrong side of history.
As an aside, fuck the ex-CEO of CrossFit. You fucking racist.
Yeah.
Right,
and I'm glad everybody left.
Yeah.
I'm glad a lot of people left.
That is the end of my final thought. Continue.
My final thoughts. Am I muted?
No.
Okay. My final thoughts are. I was just smoking. I couldn't remember if I'm muted or not. Watched UFC last night. It was Jessica Ai versus Cynthia Calvillo, who I've never heard from before, and she fucking destroyed Jessica.
She worked her. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I gotta say with that is watch out Valentina Shevchenko, because I think Cynthia Calvillo can take her.
Yeah.
Nobody beating Nunes though.
Oh no, that's impossible.
No, there are noon people that are gonna fucking beat.
Fucking hell.
Okay, I'm out of here.
Getting your final thoughts.
We go in a different direction I usually go.
Okay.
It's been a weird few weeks as far as everything that's been going on in society. Shit, it's been a weird few months with coronavirus and everything else on it. What I will tell you this. I am happier today than I've been in a very, very long time. And I would say that as somebody that's on the receiving end of friends and people that show care and to reach out and show empathy and to really be there for you and show you unconditional love, it's an amazing feeling. And I'm just grateful that I'm fortunate enough to have that in my life. I don't know. I think that we can celebrate sometimes where we protect our mentals and our chickens, and or have people that help us do that, and acknowledge that it's okay to be okay. Same way it's okay to not be okay sometimes. I just want to. This black man right here is getting into a better place mentally than I have been, and I'm really, really grateful for that. And just one other piece of advice: if there's a girl that you looked upon as a friend for a very long time, and you guys gel like all the time, and you really you're too chicken shit to make the move, just do it. Just fucking make the move. It's well worth it. Just fucking do it. Don't be a chicken shit. Make the move. Make the plunge. No, she's not next to me. It's
Who's she? Who are you talking about?
I'm not. Whatever. It's
sorry.
Huh?
What?
There's someone in particular that has done that to me. That has done that for me, and she's been fucking amazing. And it's been
Give details.
They don't need any more details than that. It's my final thought. You don't get
What's
the
his-
fucking
what's
head
his
of my
name?
final thought.
Oh,
Huh?
sorry. Go ahead.
She is in a honey bears. No, I'm joking. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm grateful to have the people that I have, and especially one particular person in general. Especially one particular person, specifically. I feel really, really good, and I'm grateful for the situation I'm in. But if you're chicken shit about asking that girl out that you just gel with, just fucking do it. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Take the chance. It's worth it.
Nice.
All right, Kate.
We're happy for you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are. Mal, final thoughts? Nobody
I think
cares.
you already
Damn.
I did it
You already
already.
did.
Fuck that up.
Damn. So you really don't care.
Fuck that up. Oh, wow. Yeah, that even proves it more that he didn't
Yeah,
get
what a
fuck.
fucking
Yeah.
piece of shit.
He's like, you talked? Oh, I didn't even notice. No, but
I just turned him out. If we're being honest.
All right, boys. See you next week.
Yeah, we'll be
That works.
we'll be doing this next week. Hopefully at a reasonable hour.
At
Shout
some
out,
point.
shout out both James and Ryan this week.
hold on. Wait. So next weekend, I'm going to be in that area.
Yeah, hit me up. We'll figure it out.
All right. What time are you thinking? because I got a plan.
How about we handle the scheduling after we finish the podcast?
I mean, don't leave the pod, Mauricio.
I gotta go.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Y'all figure out the scheduling because I want to know what happens with the card show that you guys are putting together too. I'm sure our few fans might be interested too. So
hey, our card.
No, I heard your Instagram's actually blowing up. I'm getting alerts and shit on my phone. So yeah, good job. I'm excited to see it. If you guys actually do it, do it.
Just do it. All right. I love you all. I gotta go cook.
Okay,
Later.
bye.
I don't know what I'm doing. Is that a wave? It's a wave.
I'm gonna go set up my OnlyFans. See you guys.